Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is a High Caliber Man podcast. We haven't been in space for a while, but it's good to be back. And it's just a brief one. I want to talk a little bit about well-being, psychological well-being, that is. And there are five, elements that contribute towards our psychological well-being, and it's something that we should keep in mind, and it can be helpful for uplift. And remember, when we're talking about well-being, we're talking about wellness. Doesn't always mean happiness. Sometimes we go through difficult life experiences, external events involving things that we care about, and they don't go in our favor, and we might feel a level of sadness, but that doesn't mean it's unhealthy. So I'm talking about wellness, being in a good space, being in a positive space, even when things are negative. So one of the first things to think about is connection. Connection is key. Staying in contact with the people, keeping good relations with the people that matter to us in our lives, being there for them as well as them being there for us, but keeping that connection, that communication, that pathway, making time to see people, spend time with people, or even if it is using the technology just to stay in contact and stay in the loop, as they say. That is something that is very, very positive for us. The other thing is giving. It's very important for us to give, right? Where we give in terms of our time, our expertise, a craft that we've learned, and we've learned these skills for a particular cause, whether it's a formal charity or just a way of giving back. But whatever the cause is, something that you value. Giving gives us a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning as well, and this is another element, or one of the five pathways towards well-being. Apart from the connection and apart from the giving, is learning something new, learning a new skill, learning new information about a philosophy, about a school of psychology, about an ideology, for example, right? But learning new information, staying abreast of what's going on in the world, but just developing your mind, staying sharp, staying motivated, right? In psychotherapy, they talk about being outside of your comfort zone, or they use the term room for stretch. In other words, pushing ourselves beyond where we're comfortable, getting comfortable being uncomfortable, and that helps us to grow, contributes towards the overall psychological well-being. Another element is about being present. So many of us are obsessed with, or really hooked into our electronic devices, or not just our electronic devices, but whether it's things that take us back in the past, and so we're always looking backwards and ruminating about events and things that have happened in the past, or looking forward. And sometimes we even get anxious and worried about things that don't even exist yet because of the potential possibilities that might be negative. So mindfulness and being present is about being aware of the smells that are around you. For example, if you go out in nature, what are the colors that you can see? What is the sounds that you're hearing? If you're in an environment where you're using your kinetic senses to what is available that you can touch, but meaning that you're using your senses in the present moment. So being present is very, very, very important in terms of one of those contributors to psychological well-being. Last but not least is movement, physical exercise, being active. Doesn't mean joining a gym, doesn't mean having a personal trainer, although those things could be excellent. You could buy some basic equipment online or in Decathlon or in Argos, right? And you could be just doing a workout at home by yourself. You might not have any equipment. You might just put on a YouTube video and just, watch an exercise video. It might be going out for a walk in the park, but brisk exercise 3 to 4 times a week is supposed to, the experts say, it releases the same endorphins, the feel-good hormones that replicate the impact that antidepressants would have on you. So these are things that are necessarily free. All that I've mentioned doesn't have to have a financial cost, but it's a time and a value cost in terms of being, having a purpose, being intentional about these things, keep yourself in a good space. Yeah. But like I said, Hollywood, we mentioned before, Hollywood sometimes has us in this mindset that we should always be happy, and that is, if not just unrealistic, almost like a childlike state of mind. So what we have to remember is that life will throw us challenges. Life will put us in difficult situations. However, we are more than our set of circumstances and more than capable to rise to the challenge that is ahead of us. So for all of you out there who've maybe been, second guessing yourself, questioning your motivation, questioning your capacity, questioning your abilities, you don't need to question anymore. You have what you need on this journey that we call life, and you just have to hit the right key. Like a computer, you just need to hit the right key and the data is there on file. Yeah. So till next time, remember to stay safe, remember to like, share, subscribe, share with a friend, but whatever you do, stay safe. Peace.